What a fantastic question. Mitch asks, what did you do to grow your knowledge on these topics? These are in no particular order, and before we get started, do me a favor, if you're not already, make sure you hit that follow, hit that like, leave me any additional questions down in the comments below, and let's jump on into this. First off, we have Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Workweek. Among so many other things, this book allowed me to adopt certain strategies in my business professional life that allowed me to have more time while accumulating the same amount of wealth from my job, more time to actually devote towards the things I was passionate about, the things that I knew, like crypto investing, would be able to be big someday but weren't at that time, and I had to start putting in the effort now, but I didn't have the time. This is how you build that time. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki was pretty entertaining, and it did teach some basic finance skills along the way, and it gives some good ideologies that people should consider adopting if you're trying to tune your mind more to building wealth. A cast-off to Rich Dad, Poor Dad and Robert Kiyosaki is actually his tax advisor. Tom Wheelwright and his book, Tax-Free Wealth, does a load of good for anybody who, like me, I started my wealth journey absolutely hating the idea of taxes. And listen, nobody enjoys taxes, but if you can convince yourself enough that learning the game of how to get around taxes legally and how important that is to your building wealth, that it's actually fun and it's exciting and you can ask those questions, you and your accountant can start ruling the world with your wealth building immediately. Basically, it teaches you how to play the game that the government sets up by following their rules to your massive benefit. Now, this one's a little bit more advanced and on the large scale picture of things, but check out The Fourth Turning by William Strauss and Neil Howe. It discusses the larger picture, cyclical nature of humans and human history and how you can plant those expectations in the years and decades to come to benefit you. And probably the most beneficial book that I've both listened to and physically read multiple times, and I'm still pulling new ideas from it, is The Bitcoin Standard. If there was one book on this list that I would recommend starting with, it would be The Bitcoin Standard, because it breaks down all of the fundamentals that Bitcoin is trying to achieve, and it brings us all the way back to the very beginning of money in society, and then builds your knowledge up from there so you can have a greater understanding and through that a greater appreciation of wealth, which is what we're looking to build. And I'll end on this last one. The Richest Man in Babylon is a series of short stories about times of people in the city of Babylon. And it basically preaches the morality of value and how the only way to lift all of society up is to benefit all of society with the knowledge of how to build wealth. Meaning you can only go so high as a kingdom, as a city, as any kind of major group of beings trying to raise yourselves up. You are tethered by those at the lowest, meaning the people that don't know business at all are going to negatively affect the vastly wealthy at the top for how great they can achieve things. So you're better off teaching the meek, the poor, the people who don't understand the value of wealth in society, so that they too can be lifted up, allowing that ceiling to get pushed further up for everybody. A rising tide lifts all boats, but if not everybody has a boat, it hurts the society as a whole. Anyways, take a look at the summaries, listen to the samplings on your audiobook apps, and ultimately determine where your gaps in knowledge are the biggest, and then use those books to strengthen your weaknesses. Again, if you found these sources valuable, make sure you hit that like, hit that follow, and I'll see you in the next video.